The Tower of Babel, the Tower of Evolution. So within this video interview, we're going to have a look at the manifested representation of and as the story and occurrence of the Tower of Babel as depicted within and as stories in various sources. However, the main principle of the story remain the same or similar. We're going to look at it in relation to how it actually still depict the current existence of humanity, and from that perspective, that the story actually is more in line with a prophecy than a past tale. So according to stories or various sources, the Tower of Babel, or the main point of it, is basically when all humans after the great flood with Noah spoke one language and was united within one language and built the Tower of Babel as an attempt to become equal with God, as building it to or towards or into the heavens. And then that God intentionally scattered the humans throughout the world through causing division within the one thing that united them as language, and through confusing their speech and making them or causing them to speak in different languages. That's the basic outline, platform, layout in relation to the similar depictions of and as the story of the Tower of Babel. And now the story is perceived to depict the origin of the existence of multiple distinct races that exist within and among humans today, though we have a different point obviously for you to consider in having a look at this story of the Tower of Babel and how it actually is depicting still the current existence of humanity today. So in looking in terms of the sound manifestation of the word Babel, it sounds like Ba-Bel, which sounds like the sheep, or a sheep. Ba-Bel, Pa-Bel. And in terms of the tower in itself, actually within the manifestation of and as the current existence of and as humanity today, representing evolution, and the building blocks of and as that tower as the manifestations of and as money, as what it is that we are currently defining evolution to be within human existence today. So the one language that is uniting humanity is money, and the tower itself that's being built is the representation of and as the evolutionary process of and as humanity as a whole, through and as money to or towards a particular specific purpose or aim in terms of seeing how far human evolution can go. So in terms of the whole story and representation of and as the Tower of Babel, we're still playing it out. We're living it as the very existent manifestation of who we are as the human race, and that we're still continuing as sheep building a world system within and as the context of evolution through and as money, following the exact same path that those that have gone before us has made, as in terms of living to or towards a God. At the moment, living to or towards the God as money, as evolution, as the Tower of Babel that we as humanity are currently building. And whether we're in the system or out of the system, meaning whether you have money or don't have money, you're still part of the whole system of and as evolution, because in terms of the whole functional manifested design of evolution, for the money system to be able to exist, for evolution to continue through and as money, you'll have those that don't have and those that have, because for evolution to continue, the group in relation to the amount of people that can participate within and as the world system, within the money system, for evolution to continue, has to be less and less and less. And so more and more and more will have nothing and be outside the system. And so the polarity is actually supporting the whole concept or process of and as evolution through and as money, as the world system, as the manifested Tower of Babel that's being built by humanity as a whole. So both the haves and the haves not are equally participating within this whole manifested creation of and as the Tower of Babel, as the Tower of Evolution, as the process that we're currently walking with money within this world and our reality as God, as we are building our tower towards God as money. And so the story of the Tower of Babel is still prevalent, existent within and as this world and this reality. And we're making the exact same mistake as we did in the past. So in terms of having a look at the representation of the whole story, in terms of where all human beings after the Great Flood, so obviously in terms of even after the Great Flood, humanity made exactly the same mistake. So the very nature of human beings didn't change. They just went right back to doing the same thing, focusing attention on money, possession, power, self-interest, and instead of focusing on functionally, practically, physically living here in this physical reality and in this world. And so with God, which then in terms of the context of what we're looking at here, being the physical in terms of separating the human beings through separating the language, was thus to internalize human beings to start focusing on themselves individually. And this is the current process that we're walking as well within and out of this world and this reality, where human beings are now in the process of facing themselves, as human beings will now start realizing or experiencing within themselves and their world and their reality that the focus will more and more be internalized. So in terms of context of looking at the whole story of the Tower of Babel, is where the one thing that united them, and this is the same in terms of what we're facing now as humanity, the one thing that's uniting everyone in the current accepted and allowed existence of the haves and the have-nots, is how this whole world is functioning as money, will be the one answer to give human beings an opportunity to start facing themselves, facing reality, so that we can change ourselves and this world into an existence of equality and oneness as what's best for all. So at the moment, as with and within the story of the Tower of Babel, the language that united them and in essence possessed them, as now in actual reality as money, that's the one thing that's possessing everyone, to not see what is here as reality, as self, and this world as self, where the language was taken away basically, and now it's just to remove the whole point of the current money system so that human beings can internalize themselves and start focusing on ourselves and our individual process in changing the actual nature of who we are and what we're accepting and allowing ourselves to be and become. And obviously, in terms of just taking the whole point of money away won't be the ultimate answer. We propose an interim solution as an equal money system, where through an equal money system the whole point of an as manifested survival as fear, as money, will be removed or taken away, and then beings can actually start focusing on living and redefining the living expression of what it means to actually exist in this world together as one and as equals. So here a practical reference example in relation to showing and indicating that we're still accepting and allowing ourselves to exist as sheep, possessed by and mesmerized with God as money, as we are building the Tower of Babel as bells, as sheep, focusing all and everything of who, how, and what we are to or towards money as God, instead of living here in the physical with each other, in and as this world, in and as equality and oneness. And that the only solution in terms of changing ourselves in this world is to remove the whole possession, to remove the point of survival. And to do that is to assist and support in establishing a starting point for everyone within this world and this reality within as an equal money system, so that we can start assisting and supporting ourselves in changing the actual nature of who we are through a process of self-honesty, self-forgiveness, self-corrective application, breath, that we are also already establishing within and as the Desteni I process. So the tools are here. It just need to be realized, seen, and understood by human beings within and as this world and this reality today as a common sense point in terms of changing oneself and this world, both within the starting point of and as equality and oneness, to change this existence so that we can start focusing on living and stop existing as fear and survival. Thank you.